Listen to the difference. With my phaser. Much with the theme of today, iconic tones with the gear that you have. I've been put in the position, whilst Andy's have been away, to finish off the beginner electric jam tracks. And that basically means that I've had to emulate a lot of tones. So we're talking a bit of Beastie Boys, Cream, things like that. I've tried to find songs by Fontaines D.C. that I would like. I'm getting these. Getting these kind of vibes from that. You know, that kind of thing? I believe it might be somewhere around the 12th fret. So what I've done there, thinking about tones, I've added on a delay, which I'm sure you can hear. And it's going ba, ba, ba. I just immediately got quite a good room sound from that song there. Oh, and it bends all the way up. So yeah, I added on a delay. I've got my amp on a clean channel, like on the clean channel. I've added a Boss BD2, which makes it sound like this. And me and Gareth have had this conversation before about the Boss BD2. I've got the volume, if you think about straight in the middle, I've got the volume down and the gain up, literally like opposites to each other. Tone in the middle. I pair with the delay. And that's kind of getting close to that tone. I mean, that's the type of song that I think you could get it really, really right to the tab. But as long as you have that sound or a similar sound, you could have a lot of fun with that, just trying to jam in on the spot, trying to follow your own ear a little bit there. But I'm sure there's tabs out there, of course. I was bending a lot from the 14th fret on the G string. Just getting something like that to start with. Little like 1 fret bend. Occasionally going all the way to 16. Simpler the better, I suppose, sometimes. Cool. Heather, I've been working on intermediate acoustic level 6. Awesome. Triads and jam track 11. I just want to quickly listen to this just to see if it's got any, what the jam track's like. Ah, is it the pinball one? That's funny that, because again, tone wise, you're thinking who? You're really getting that, aren't you? Yeah, anything country style. Jeff, Tex-Mex makes me think Stevie Ray Vaughan and ZZ Top. I totally agree. So whilst we're preambling and talking in the comments, thinking about tone still and just getting us ready for the topic kind of thing, I've got loads of pedals down here. I've got a ton of pedals. I've got only 1 amp, and I've mostly, for every tone I've looked at so far, whether it's the Who, and I'm going through the clean setting on my amp, and all I'm doing is pairing the BD2. But I think a big thing about tone is also to do with the player's style, and I think like it's always worth remembering that tone is like subjective. You know, it doesn't really matter if Anyone could think your tone sounds bad and not like it. But really, if you feel like you're getting close, then I don't know, it's subjective, isn't it? Unless you're really far off. But sometimes it's just to do with the way you play. For example, you know, different pick, bit more picking thinking. If you think about Sharp Dressed Man. I'm just trying to channel a bit more Billy Gibbons, basically, rather than, you know, kind of Who. Like I'm doing this Who thing. Actually, like using my body and trying to play like that player. But when I get Billy Gibbons, he's much more, you know, that kind of player, isn't he? He's a bit more, he's a bit of a funny player, isn't he, Billy Gibbons, really? I just used a fuzz pedal there, which is super cheap, super fuzz, Behringer super fuzz. Nice and easy, and that got me that kind of fuzzy tone you just heard there. And this is like 20 quid, I think. 20 quid for all the same stuff. It's plastic, but it's got a bit of weight to it. And I thought sometimes Billy Gibbons' tones is a bit fuzzy. What's your favourite electric guitar tones? Who are some of your favourite players? And another question being, have you struggled to get any tones before? Like me and Gareth have talked before, the Blues Driver wasn't doing it for him. And plenty of people have complained on videos that I've done where they say the Blues Driver has like a bit of fuzzy kind of nastiness towards the end when you... Bit of fizziness. Maybe a bit just then. Bit there. I just like it, but there we are. Some of my favourites are actually John Fogerty, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Love those guitar tones. Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys. Andy Taylor from Duran Duran. Whoever expected his name to come up, but a great guitar guy and a very, very cool guitarist with a tone that works in that kind of genre. I always found quite interesting. And of course, we've got Britpop, you know, Noel and Paul Banks from Shed 7, Bernard Butler. I mean, where's his tones come from? Does this sound like Bernard Butler? For me, it's not harsh enough because he uses an AC30, which I think is a crucial part of his sound. And they've got very different characteristics to a Marshall amp. That's tone all the way up. It's become very trebly. If I turn it all the way down, you're getting into... But thinking of Brian May. Any closer? If I put it back to my preferred setting, the tone in the middle. I just wanted to show off of this, for example, as well. This is just a Roland Microcube, and it's got settings on it there. Clean, black panel, which is a Fender amp, Brit combo, you know, kind of potentially AC30 or sort of Marshall tones. Classic stack, again, probably Marshall tones. And then we've got kind of like basically Metallica tone. And this is an option for getting many, many tones. And I've mic'd this up before and it actually sounds really good. It's a great, great amp. I really, really like it. For me, the 3 options for finding tone are to check the web for signal chains, articles, interviews, pictures of people's pedal boards, and seeing what gear they use. That's one way you can get tone. Number 2, listen to the song, obviously, but listen to isolated tracks on YouTube. Use the tools that we have. You can literally find guitar tones and like analyze them just like that without the drums and the singing and the bass in the background, or synths or trumpets or anything like that. And then third is, use amps like the Boss Microcube or a Spark. Use amps with presets, you know. Line 6 have a tone library, I'm pretty sure. I sold my Line 6, which I said I never would. And now I bought a Marshall DSL 40, which is very versatile in my opinion. And then I've just got a bunch of pedals now, and I'm having fun doing that. And I just asked ChatGPT what it thought some of the best tones might be. And Jimi Hendrix, of course, Fuzz and Wah, and Stratocaster Magic. Okay, I don't have a Stratocaster, which is maybe one faux pas already. But of course the Wah has to come first in the single chain. So you see where it says from guitar into Wah. So there's my Wah. And now I've got it going into a Fuzz. The Fuzz that I showed before, the Behringer. And that's got some Hendrixy kind of octave above kind of sounds. Wah into Fuzz. This is now the Wah with the BD2. You know, that kind of thing? Kind of sounds good, doesn't it? So, the actual song, see what it sounds like. So again, I mean, you need to listen to the song, don't you? Because it doesn't even have any wah on it. Didn't even know that. Rate that tone out of 10. The Behringer Super Fuzz is not a fuzz face. They're quite characteristically different, I think. But again, I'm trying to use what I got. Maybe not quite right. But that is going from 9, 7, 8 to 7. Which is a nice place to start. If I just play it like this with no effects, obviously not very exciting. If I actually had a bit of expression on there, trying to do the Hendrix emulation kind of, it's actually kind of it's got a bit of something behind it. Add some effects, add a simple fuzz fiddle. Can even take down the gain as low as it can go. And then that's 5, 5, open, and then 7. All in that kind of E pentatonic position. But that's just one example, using things I actually have with me. Close, but I probably wouldn't rate it too high. You need that kind of old school fuzz. Back to the Les Paul, because I want some pickups. Eddie Van Halen, you know, the eruption tone, the brown sound. So you'll see on Andy's videos, on the Boss Guitarna, you've got the brown sound, which is a hot rodded Marshall. MXR Phase 90, you know, very, very common. And of course his Frankenstrat. Again, no Strat. But it was kind of both. The tone for Eddie Van Halen, I think, was raw and warm, which is kind of mad. But even extreme gain levels, he kind of had a lot of clarity in his tone. So the Brown sound is a rock history sound, which is going to be hard to recreate. But he does have techniques like hammer-ons and tremolo picking. So even on a clean sound, you're kind of getting close. But the tools I've got, clean tone, got my gain quite high on the old BD2. Bit more saturated. I've got a vintage phase pedal by Joyo Pedals. I'm pretty sure this is the cheapest pedal you can possibly buy. So that's your phase coming through, which is what Eddie Van Halen's very known for. That's Ain't Talking About Love by Van Halen. I think I need more gain. So, because I want to push it. So this is my Boss BD2 now, maxed. On the clean channel. Listen to the difference. And I've just matched the level to what the clean tone is like. With my phaser. With tone, I think it's worth noting, if I just simply play with pretty much no expression, but then if I go this is why we work on the techniques that we do, I think, because without that picking, with a bit of palm muting, you know. So that's just going from an A minor chord, really, built around that A minor, open, second fret of the D string, so basically playing through that chord, and then first fret on the B, which is that minor chord of the A. You know, the actual minor third. And then, so it's a kind of a string skip. Kind of going from open, second, skipping a string, then to the second fret of the G. So you might see this on, even if you're doing the acoustic beginner's course, or perhaps even the intermediate course, really. A bit of string skipping. Got that sound, but it doesn't sound like Ain't Talking About Love yet, because you need to pick that, and then it's open, place the first finger down, first fret of the E string, first fret of the B, and then second fret of the G. So all of a sudden we've created a little F triad. And then just 3 on the E, 3 on the B, 3 on the low E, and then 3, 2, 3. But if I start going, even without all the settings on my pedal, So there we are, like, that's the Boss BD2 maxed out. What do we think? Doing all that Eddie Van Halen stuff? Makes a difference when you do apply some of the techniques. So, super cheap vintage phase pedal there, which was really cheap. Boss BD2 into a clean Marshall amp. Got pretty close, I think. So you can see here, in this image, you can see the send and return has got the delay and reverb set going through the amp, meaning it's in the effects loop and it should sound like this. Now if I apply some gain, which is going in the front of the amp, where you can kind of see overdrive on that image in the red pedal, because my delay is going through the effects return and send in my amp, it means that my delay is not affecting, it's not distorted in itself. It's acting in its own way, which is quite nice. So you can get this kind of thing. That kind of thing. If I get that quite loud. And also, if you put your looper pedal through the effects loop as well, it means you can do this kind of thing. So if I go... That's the power of an effects loop there, because I was able to lay down some clean chords, but then put my drive in the front of the amp and then not affect anything. Let's have a look at some of the tones that were suggested, because I think that's a nice idea. Boss BD2, does that match to the actual Marshall sound? Which sounds better? For me, the actual amp sounds better than the pedal going through the clean. Just a bit more fun, I think. Let's have a look at some Neil Young. This is what came into my head. So that tone there. So it's quite low and growly, isn't it? Like Neil Young's guitar tone, often a Fender Stratocaster or a Gibson with P90s. Nice. Compressor adds sustain, levels out the signal. Wah, phaser, use expressive wah sounds, of course. Phasing, distortion. I think he probably uses surely some kind of like clean boost, pushing his amp. In the eventuality that you can't find anything or you find an image like that, look at that. So that's yeah, you got a tube screamer. Some very old looking pedals. Les Paul, definitely. So to me, it's just a kind of a mid-gain sound. Like for example, if I go like this, too much gain. It's too chuggy. This not good enough. I'm gonna kind of scoop it by adding bass and treble and taking the mids out. A little bit closer. Gonna do the opposite now. Add a bit more middle. To me, the mids is working a bit better. So for the benefit of the playback, I'm gonna change guitar, just so you know. This is it. It's starting to get a bit more like it. Because to me, Neil Young's open chords, isn't it? And it just realised, this guitar's made me realise. Get a bit more countrified with it? Possibly. So you could play this particular song. You could go from C, open C, and then to a D power chord. So C, D, 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 C, D, 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 D. Nice. And then third fret on the C, or the third fret of the A string, second fret of the A string, open A string, hitting that F note there. Or you could go slide it into it. Just a bit more like it, possibly. Like that whole lot of love lick, yeah. Jimmy Page used the Tele, didn't he? I think in some parts of his career. So let's see what the Jimmy Page situation is. So Jimmy Page guitar tone characterized by a combination of Fender Telecaster or Gibson Les Paul. Loud amplifiers, of course. Pushing the amp to break up. All the classic rock tones do that. Boost, bass and treble. So, employing techniques like using the middle pickup position. Fair enough. Manipulating the guitar's volume and tone controls. It's a very good point, that. If you drop your tone on your guitar, you get more of the woman tone, which Clapton would call it. Which, if you compare it to full on, it's not dirty enough. This is a bare knuckle pickup in this guitar. But yeah, thinking about the Jimmy Page tone then. So boost, the treble and bass. We're going to take the mids out. Boost the beat, bass and treble. So as soon as you boost the middle and take away some mids and then boost the treble, starting to getting a bit more like that. So is that sounding a bit more Jimmy Page? He does a lot of that kind of stuttering. If you want to get into that kind of thing. I just do that by literally, if you're in A minor pentatonic position from the 5th fret to the 8th fret on the B string, just give it a try stutter as much as you can, like you're out of control. And that's how you get that classic Jimmy Page kind of sound. But yeah, those tone settings were nice. Bit more like it. Should we just compare that to the Les Paul? Yeah, it feels a bit more like it. Maybe that's a bit better, I'm not sure. Have to see about that one. Rate that one out of 10. Telecaster versus Les Paul. What settings on my amp or first can I use to get a GNR sound? That's an awesome question. So yeah, and I think this is again using exactly what we've got here. Let's do it from the absolute beginning. Okay, so super clean. Gonna put all my EQ settings in the middle. So bass, treble, middle, and well, they're all in the middle. So you get quite a blank sound. Nothing too exciting there. For me, again, Boss BD2. Let me put everything in the middle. Level, gain, and tone in the middle. Bit loud, so I'm going to turn the volume down slightly. That's a Boss Blues driver. You could probably pick one up for, you know, maybe 60, 70 quid. So I've just gone total basic settings. I mean, that could literally be... It's that clean. It's Wonderwall levels of clean. Boss BD2, gain in the middle. It needs a bit more gain to get that slash sound. So I'm going to take the gain from the middle and knock it, give it a bit more. So all I've done there is get some quite basic settings. But then if that's kind of your favourite player, like Slash, or, you know, Gilby Clarke as well, who played in Slash in the band as well. I've seen him live before. They have like Slash tone. And I think some of that is also to do with picking. If you just play your A chord up here, it's a bit softer. If you play a bit closer to your bridge, implement some palm muting, still needs a bit more gain, to get that kind of beefy blowout that I think Slash gets. Bit more treble. Kind of a bit too much there, I think, actually. Not the mids in. But there you are. It's kind of, you know, get into that kind of tone. Put a delay on. Welcome to the jungle. Or whatever that is. You know, that kind of thing? And I agree, I love the Slash sound. And, you know, that's where the Marshall amp really comes into its own, I think. If you have a Marshall amp, then you're going to get more of that sound. Yeah, definitely does the job. You can pick up a Marshall DSL-40 for quite cheap. You know, I got mine very luckily, I think, for £290. If you've got a clean amp, still the same. Stick some kind of drive in front of it and set all those settings to center as well. And then start tweaking a little bit from there. And all of a sudden, that's sounding pretty... You know, kind of, I think that's pretty close. Yeah, another question. What about the Joe Bonamassa sound? Oh, equipment.com, of course. He has used a Marshall JCM Silver Jubilee, which is the Slash amp. JCM 2000. Again, quite modern. Tweed Bassman, there we are. He's got quite a lot of gear, doesn't he? Which makes him a hard person to pin down, I think. There's his pedal board, Ethan, apparently. He's got a fuzz face, which I would have used for my Hendrix if I could have. He's got a DD3, I think, there, which is a Boss digital delay, which I also have on this board. He's got a tube screamer. All that kind of stuff. So yeah, loud amp and a bit of fuzz and a bit of tube screamer. His top song's called Blues Deluxe, which is, I mean, that's going after the greats, isn't it? That's very Chuck Berry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think going on equipment.com, anything like that's going to give you the Chuck Berry sound. Really is just bright and loud enough for it to get a little bit. That's super clean. If I just put my Boss Blues Driver, absolutely no gain on the Boss Blues Driver. If I just turn it up a bit. There we are, there's a bit of dirt there. Bit of reverb. Just enough there. Yeah, it's really clean, isn't it? But I've just added enough. I've literally taken the gain all the way off and just added about a quarter. But if you listen to my amp before, that is a clean amp. Just a bit of blues driver. I mean, that's what the blues driver's for, isn't it? You know. Now look at how much gain I can get on this. This is now full gain. I mean, it's loud as heck. There's so much on here. Got all the way to that kind of thing. So that's pretty much the gain a little bit over center. That's a pretty good Angus sound to me. Not quite Malcolm though. It's how you play though, isn't it? I think sometimes. But yeah, I think we've gone through a good few there, and it's been a tone journey and a half, I think. Mostly, all those tones, mostly from the Blues Driver. I had a fuzz on, which I used at the beginning. To do a bit of Hendrix, if I can say that was even close. And a bit of phaser. And some delay. We got quite a few options there. Didn't even get a chance to use my Metal Zone, which I bought recently, which has a name for itself. But yeah, what do we think? It's definitely a matter of you can do it. It's all very subjective. My amp did most of the work there, like just by being clean and keeping a very neutral EQ. Guitar made some difference. It does obviously make a difference, but I think it's all about how you play. I'm gonna put it down to that. You can make something sound a lot like something else with how you play. Kind of means practice. Didn't even get to use the Rat either. So, which appears on a lot of 90s stuff. Everything from Billy Corgan to Bernard Butler. Guys like Jack White, who started off so basic to the point he was using any old thing, now has a company, which means the only way you can sound like Jack White is by buying Jack White pedals. A bit like this plasma pedal by Game Changer Audio. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Like, some things get you exactly where you need to be, and most things, when it comes to classic rock tones or most rock tones, you can do it with a clean channel and a blues driver.